Wednesday, June 27, and you're listening to the Next Level Podcast, episode 72. I'm Emmy Bassavan. With me is a man with two left feet. It's John Danho.
How about ye?
And in another life, he was slightly taller and had blonde hair. Hello, Arig.
That sounds like what I would want. A little bit taller. No, blonde hair. Fuck blonde hair. I'm down with black hair.
Someone else with black hair, Lilith, in the booth. How you doing? So this is another video podcast, and you can find it at thenextlevel.com. Thenextlvl.com is our website, John.
Yeah, man.
Did you know that?
You know, I had a dream about it, and I feel like it foretold your telling me of it. So,
Well, there you go.
yeah.
That's the website.
Cool, man. I'm glad my dreams aren't nightmares, dude.
I don't know, man. If I'm in your dreams, I would call those nightmares.
Oh, what the hell, man? I don't know, man.
Reminds me of Dungeons and Dragons, dude, when we were playing, and I had a druid, and one of his abilities was when someone is sleeping, I can go into their dream and like turn their dream into whatever I want. So like we had a prince in our story that I was the bodyguard of this prince.
Prince Lothric?
Essentially, he
right.
was like a young Prince Lothric, and he was gonna grow up to be king. So during nighttime when he was sleeping, me as my druid, I would use the dream ability to go in his dreams and like teach him lessons and stuff.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And
well,
like-
like actually teach him lessons or
Yeah.
like teach him a lesson?
No,
Like,
teach him lessons. Both.
Arrange. Like
Okay.
if he was whatever he needed,
Yeah.
you know, whatever was lacking.
Yeah.
Basically,
Yeah.
like
So you were the
propagandizing
guru.
this kid.
You were
A
the
little bit,
guru.
a little
Not
bit.
necessarily cracking the whip, but like just helping him
Yeah,
out.
I was like an
Tough love.
advisor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
it's,
cool.
It's a funny little trait, man.
Yeah. And I could shapeshift, obviously, since I was a druid, into like dogs and stuff. So
Oh,
I'd
shit.
shapeshift into a dog and like run around in his dreams. So
I
he'd
don't
never
know,
really
dude.
know it was me.
Yeah, but if you could shapeshift, you'd choose a dog instead of like a lion or
Oh,
an eagle or some shit.
It depends on what the purpose
I would
is.
shapeshift into like a gigantic troll and
Yeah.
just fuck shit up.
Yeah.
I fucked shit up in like this little kid's dream, huh?
Oh, it's a little kid?
The prince is like a little kid.
Oh, okay.
And we're trying
I don't
to
know
like.
why I assume like the prince is like some fucking warrior or some shit.
Oh no! It's straight up
Nah.
like he's like a little kid that like is being groomed to be king.
Yeah.
And we had to like it was
He
crazy.
has a bigger brother though, who like ended up betraying the
Oh,
family.
man.
and we
s-
fucked
so,
him
like,
up.
yeah,
we fucked him up hard, dude.
Yeah, we did fuck
Sean
him up.
at the end, he's like, I didn't know you guys were gonna be that strong, dude.
Yeah, he
like,
underestimated
we
us.
Fucked him up, dude. And he made the older prince just shit talk us the whole time.
Oh,
he
man.
just shit talk, say, "Oh, you guys are dumb. I'm gonna fuck you up, this that." And then I just like rained lightning down on him.
Little
Oleg
did
just
he know
fucks
who
him
he's
up.
dealing with.
Yeah,
we
dude.
did some crazy fun stuff. It was nuts.
Very fun,
Nice.
yeah. You know what else is very fun?
Uh-oh. Tell me. Is it video games?
games.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
I've
dude.
heard of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, there's a
They're fun,
sale.
man.
There's a sale going on Steam, and you know how that goes.
More video games.
Yeah.
Empty wallets.
Dude, like I've gotten up to a point that I basically have every video game I want. So whenever I look at Steam sale, I'm like, I already own
Yeah.
everything.
I gotta
Oh.
say, dude, I want more, but there isn't what I want.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, do you guys ever just scroll through the Steam and,
Yeah.
and
Oh
you're
yeah,
like,
totally, man.
fuck,
Every
dude,
night,
like,
every night I go through Steam and I'm just disappointed because like I don't necessarily want all of these. Like these are all fantastic deals,
Yeah.
but fuck, man.
Dude, I just remembered something. Actually, before we were even recording, I was trying to think of all the games that I bought on the Steam sale, which weren't too many, just a couple.
Yeah.
But I remember I was forgetting one that I specifically wanted to tell you that I got.
Okay.
And I was on Mumble when I purchased it, and Muhead was there, and he was witness to like my reaction when I saw it on sale. Hand of Fate.
Oh shit.
Do you remember that?
Yeah,
game?
fuck yeah, I remember
We
that.
had like an episode on it and everything. I think
Yeah.
we even did a video episode on it.
Yeah, we did.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah, dude. So I saw it for
That's
like
a cool
$5.
video game. That's a fun game.
I saw
I
it.
thought
and
you
freaked
owned it
out.
already.
No, I never
I
had
did.
it. I played it on Emin's computer at his other
Oh,
house.
I
Right?
didn't know that.
Yeah, at his old house we played, and that's when we were doing the thing, and I loved it. I loved that game completely, and I just saw it on the Steam sale for $5, and I was like, "That's it. I have to have this." So I bought it and I installed it, but it was right when Diablo was also installed.
Oh,
the Necro was
bummer.
installed. Yeah, so I played the Necro.
Diablo,
I didn't.
yeah.
Yeah, I didn't play Hand of Fate.
Oh, that's too bad.
But I will.
The
there,
second
though,
Hand
yeah.
of Fate is coming out, I think, sometime this year. Or like
Nice.
early next year.
I'm
And it
super
looks good,
down.
man. It just looks like a very more polished and
Cool.
very well put together.
Yeah,
So
I
I'm
love the
excited for that.
mechanics of the first one.
Yeah,
it was
it was
very
cool.
smart. Very
Yeah,
smart game.
Very smart. So talking about very smart, have you guys purchased and played any very smart games?
Yeah, I purchased 2 only this time. As I said, like I've been going through Steam and nothing really like jumps out at me, appeals to me, really like gets me going all that much. But I did buy 2 games. I bought Banner Saga and I bought that Goblin stealth game, Sticks. Nix,
Oh,
what is it called?
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
Sticks.
Have you played that?
I
at
had
all?
that's the one I did not play yet. I
Okay.
just bought it because it was cheap and it looked like it was going to be a fun game. I even asked Oregon Mumble. I'm
Yeah.
like, is it worth getting? And you said if you can get through the tutorial, it's very fun.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give it a shot whenever I feel like playing it. But
I don't remember if you guys remember like spotting me playing.
oh,
that
I
when
remember,
used
of
to
course. That's
play
how
it.
why I asked
I
you.
don't
Yeah.
actually.
It was
Yeah.
super random and spontaneous. There was some other game going on too, but I don't know why. Whatever game it was where everybody was playing that at the time, I got bored of it pretty quick or something. So I ended up just getting Sticks,
Yeah.
and I played it for a little bit. I didn't even plan on playing it for a long time, but I fell in love with it. It was so
Cool.
fun. And then John or like Sean would message me randomly. They're like, "What the fuck are you playing? Like, what is
Yeah.
this dumbass game you're on like hours every single day?" You know, nobody understood what it was. And John was asking me about this like yesterday. He's like, "Hey, dude, remember that Sticks game? Was it fun? I'm thinking of getting it." I'm like, "Fuck yeah, get that
Nice.
shit."
So I got it.
Yeah.
I have it.
It's a stealth game, right? You're
It's a
little
stealth game
goblin
and you're a
thing
goblin, but it seems
Yeah.
like it's really fucking brutal
It's
and it looks like
super
it has
fun.
like a cool like universe and funny like
Do you want me to give you like a little rundown of what happens?
No, no.
like what,
Don't,
story?
Don't
No,
do
no,
story shit.
Oh no, not spoilers. No, like mechanically.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, how,
Yeah.
how does it play? Yeah, what is
so
it like?
basically, you're this little goblin,
Yeah.
okay, and the whole game revolves around. It's kind of like Assassin's Creed esque, where you're climbing architecture constantly, and each level or scenario has sort of like different types of design to the architecture, and you can learn the maps. Like you can learn where the best areas are to be more efficient to get through because there's enemy patrols.
That sounds like Hitman too in
Yeah.
a way.
It's like
Sure.
a mix of Hitman, Assassin's Creed. You're getting through like nooks and crannies because you're a tiny goblin, and you're essentially constantly assaulting like this castle. It's like the knights and the kings and like the
Yeah.
ambassadors. They're like walking with big patrols and stuff. Sometimes you have a specific target that you have to take out.
That is Assassin's
Yeah.
Creed-esque too, yeah.
Sometimes you're just trying to get through an area. Sometimes you're trying to escape an area, and you're going through a story. And along the way, you're unlocking more abilities. Like now
Cool.
you can throw knives.
Is
that are
it-
poison knives?
Is
and
it
stuff.
open world or is it more level based or?
It's like half and half. You have like a hub.
Yeah,
Okay. You have
okay.
a hub area, and from the hub area, you can go out into different areas. But there is sort of a linearity to the story.
That's
Sure.
fine,
Yeah.
yeah.
But you can then come back and revisit all the levels that you played. Once you like get through the game, you can go back and do certain scenarios, try to improve your time and your score.
Okay.
Yeah.
And like perfect yourself because you get better at the game as you get through.
Yeah, of
and then when
course.
you revisit a level from before, you're like,
With
oh,
new
dude,
abilities too, right?
Yeah,
That's cool.
exactly. Get new stuff around the map. There's like hidden items, and
Sure.
cool things. Yeah.
That's cool, man. Yeah, I look forward to it. Like I'm gonna play it at some point.
Yeah.
It was like a very like whimsical purchase,
Yeah.
but I was like, I saw it, and it's really the only thing that stood out to me besides Banner Saga, which
Yeah.
I got early on.
for sure.
So just like
I
yeah.
personally have never been the biggest fan of stealth stuff just because it just fills me up with anxiety. The only stealth stuff that I like is like Assassin's Creed
Sure.
and Hitman. That is not necessarily hiding in shadows, but like hiding in plain sight.
Sure.
Like I like
lo-
that a lot.
I love stealth, dude. I love like Deus Ex, Human Revolution. Like I did the pacifist stealth run.
Sure.
I love the old Splinter Cells games. Reg and me used
Oh,
to play that
cool,
shit on
yeah.
console, dude.
You
I
ever played
love
Thief?
I love stealth. I've never played Thief. It
Aw,
looks
you would like
pretty
it then.
archaic though.
Yeah.
I
Like,
played Thief.
Oh, well, I mean, yeah, talking about like the very first one, sure. But
Yeah.
there was one Thief, Deadly Shadows, that I played a lot of.
Yeah.
And that was pretty good,
I
man.
You played a
that
lot of
shit.
it too,
Yeah.
already?
Oh,
Played
did
that
you
shit.
too?
I played like the first 3 or 4 iterations of Thief back
Nice.
to back. Like my uncle would constantly get that for me because he thought it was like I like video games.
Yeah.
So he thought it was a cool game. And he just
I thought you were gonna say because he thought I was a thief.
Oh yeah,
I'm
for
like, what?
sure. Yeah, no, but Sticks is all about like in the shadows and stuff. You're not really
That's-
hiding in plain sight as much.
That's fine with me,
and
dude.
Thief too.
Yeah.
Like you were pretty much hiding
Yeah.
in the shadows
Yep.
there as much as you could.
There was one faction in Thief that you would go up against from time to time.
Uh-huh.
It's like straight up paladins. Like
Yeah,
they're, like,
yeah.
knights and
Isn't there
shit.
like a weird
I
mythos
love
in
that.
Thief? And
Yeah.
like it's kind of like it becomes like really surreal and weird at some point, and they add magic in, and
It's been so long, I don't really remember like all the details and stuff about it. But
It's pretty intricate.
yeah,
Like
Yeah,
high
that's cool. That's cool.
skill cap. Like you got to get good at it.
that's what people say. It's
Yeah.
like the stealth game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's like the golden, egg. Of
it's like the
stealth games.
precursor of it. Like a lot of stealth, like what we see in stealth games today, kind of
Was
comes
from
that.
Thief. Yeah.
yeah.
I heard Dishonored was very much inspired by Thief.
Cool.
Sure.
I
Yeah.
don't know. I never got far in Dishonored, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's very intricate. The more little nitty things you can do, you could like have a pocket of stuff, different types of ways to distract enemies. And
Yeah.
when it gets really detailed into the stealth, that's when you know like this is a stealth game.
Yeah, yeah.
In Sticks,
different. It's like when it's versatile. And
yeah,
all
it's
that.
like versatile with your stealth abilities and stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
That's what I mean. That's what I bought. What about you guys? What's been on the purchase?
Other than Hand of Fate,
Yeah.
which I haven't tried out yet, but I already know what it's like. I'm just gonna play it for fun. Oh, a whimsical purchase, like you said, right?
Yeah.
Other than that, I got Banished.
Yeah.
And speaking of smart purchases,
Yeah.
not only was it a smart purchase, but it's a smart game because
Mm-hmm.
it's like high strategy, resource management, village building.
It's super micro, dude. It's super micro. That's what I was telling everybody. Like
Yeah.
it's like micro of the micro. You're
So-
building a village. It's not a city. It's not, you know.
It's a little half and half. Like it's not the stereotypical micro. Like it's not StarCraft type of micro.
No, yeah,
No, of
not like
course.
that.
Right? It's
I
not
mean
like
micro detail.
Exactly. Like
Yeah.
I'm not like controlling my villagers one by one, sending them places constantly. It's more like I'm controlling the gears behind everything. I'm like automating stuff. Like basically there was that one other game Mason was talking about. Remember?
Factorio.
Factorio. So it's kind of like the in between Factorio and like a strategy game where
Oh, weird.
I'm not actually sending the villagers on my own. Like I'm not clicking and controlling them. Instead, I'll have job assignments. Like I'll have a window where I can assign jobs,
Oh,
and I have a
interesting.
certain amount of laborers, which are my villagers, and then I constantly micro the job management. So like
Yeah,
let's-
sometimes you're in production mode, so I need a whole bunch of
Exactly.
builders. Sometimes
exactly.
you need wood, so yeah, I have a whole bunch of lumber makers
Right.
and whatever.
So a lot of the micro was me going from one window to the other window, checking this window, making sure these stats are there. What's my food supply like? What's my log supply? What kind of building plans do I have set out for the village? Right? You're kind of just over the top God mode style, like creating this village. So it's not like in-depth micro, right?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
more broader.
A lot of micro
Yeah.
detail from what I've seen too, in the sense that like you're always like you mentioned the word statistics. I feel
Right.
like there's a lot of emphasis on statistics,
Yeah.
numbers, proportions, percentages, graphs. There's lots of graphs you could look at. So
Yeah.
I don't know if you do that, but
Yeah.
that's one of the selling points of the game. Even on the Steam page, it
Yeah.
shows you that. sort of
There's definitely stuff like patterns you can pick up. For example, John was witness to one of the
Yeah, I
things
was
that
watching him all night, like one night, just like I had him on like
Right on.
Steam broadcast, just
Yeah.
watching him like do his stuff.
Yeah,
It's
he
fun.
was watching me with the broadcast, and it was really funny because right when you wanted to watch my broadcast was when I loaded up the game, and I was actually thinking of starting a new match because the one I was in, I was so far in already. I was at like 70 pop,
sure.
and I was scared. I was genuinely intimidated of like managing that now because I knew if I went back,
Oh, that's first of all, that's very interesting, man. Like
Yeah.
70 pop is a lot.
It's a lot.
it feels like
a lot.
Yeah,
it
that's
feels
interesting.
difficult. It feels
Yeah.
difficult to
Because
manage.
it's a village.
Oh,
right?
and
it's
it's
like
not-
a tiny village.
My
Yeah.
man, it's not even 70 pop, just 70 pop. It's like 50 elders, students, and kids,
Yeah,
and it's split,
exactly.
and it's
Oh,
fucking
man.
intense. Yeah.
Because children can't work.
Sure.
Okay, so they're just running around. But then, depending on whether you have a school or not, children either become students or immediately become laborers. And then your population is either educated or it's uneducated. So, like, people are cycling through. So, you have a cemetery, eventually, like, the elderly die. And you have to have enough population coming in to fill the jobs that you're starting to miss now.
That's
okay?
fucking cool.
It's
Yeah.
really. Do you see
Yeah.
what I mean
I
by
like
the
that
word
a lot.
micro? Like you're
Yeah.
in their lives in a way. You know what I mean?
So that was one of the major problems that John witnessed too. I was looking at the stats. Okay, I was looking at the stats. I was looking at my pop stats. Something very simple, like one of the most simple numbers, where it just says you have like 53 adults, you have 10 students, and you have like 12 children. You know, and I was looking at that. I'm telling John, does this look right to you? Like I have like almost 60 adults, but I only have like 12 or 10 children, and
Yeah,
like
that
it looks like they're
seems-
not mating enough, dude.
yeah, like what's the issue here? And then I figured just by myself, I don't have enough houses because
Oh.
the houses can get filled up, right? So you can have like 5 people living in a house. So you can either have a wooden house or a stone house. Stone house, you use less firewood, so it's more efficient. Costs more, but anyways, that's just a side note. Anyways, in your stone house, you can have 5 people living there. However, when you have 5 people living there, they can't have a kid in there. Okay, so you want a fresh house that has empty slots, and a new family moves into the house. So I made like 5 new houses, and we were looking at it with John together. I would click a house right as it finished. 2 new people moved in, and they were male, female. The next house finished. 2 new people moved in. They
There
were
you
male,
go.
female, but they came from my other houses. So they were just looking for an opportunity to like move into a new house to
So they could
start a
start a
family.
family.
Yeah, each
Very
house
cool.
had a kid. Eventually,
Very
we
cool.
hit like 20 children, and that's what we were going for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys want to like? You know what that reminds me of? That particular mechanic is black and white.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because
sure.
black and white was
Sure.
was based on basically your families were based on the houses available.
Yes.
And when they would mate is when they had a house to themselves to do so, and they would come up with a family, and then you'd
Yeah.
see the funny animation
Yeah.
and stuff.
So this
Yeah.
game seems like it could get pretty complicated.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like especially this entire house situation that
Yeah.
you're talking about. Like how well is the game communicating that something is wrong?
You don't
or
know,
it doesn't
man.
really tell
That's
you.
the
Like it's
thing.
kind of up to you
Yeah.
to figure it out.
Yeah, it's like at this point we've created this like word for it. It's Dark Souls-esque in like the amount of information it provides
yeah.
you. You know, I might have if I didn't spot that, if I didn't think those numbers were weird, and I was like, oh cool, I have 10 kids and like 50 adults. Oh cool, let's keep
You
going.
have to extrapolate that yourself.
Yeah,
Sure.
if I
Yeah.
don't, and then next thing I know, I'm playing, and then suddenly like, oh, what's going on? Something's off. I'm not getting enough workers. People are dying. All of a sudden, I regressed. Now I have to like start trying to catch up.
And it's tough to catch
I end up with a bunch
sometimes,
of
man.
buildings that are jobless now, like don't have enough employees. I had a
Interesting.
big quarry, for example. You saw the quarry.
Yeah, it was cool.
I had miners at the quarry, and eventually, like as they're mining, the quarry is getting deeper, and people die by getting crushed by rocks during their job, and like people die of all kinds of things. Okay,
Man.
so
And
you
And in
don't
the
know.
winter, especially, there's
Yeah.
famine and stuff like that.
Yeah, you don't know like what could possibly be like a little obstacle on the way. But in the quarry, I only had like 5 or 6 people working when 15 people could be working at the
Sure.
quarry, and some like constantly be like reducing the amount of people at the quarry, sending them to other places I needed, then sending them back, running short on stone, this, that, like a lot of things you have to manage.
Is there conflict in this game? Like, are you dealing
No.
with other villages?
The
and,
elements.
like going in. That's basically what
Yeah.
it is, right? Because it's like I was reading up on it, and it's a survival game. That's what
Yeah.
it kind of
Essentially.
categorizes
Yeah, you're
itself
trying to
as.
survive.
Yeah.
Yeah, You're
That's
trying
cool.
to
So
help
like,
your village.
I'm assuming like when winter comes around, like shit gets real.
It's a big deal.
yeah.
Yeah.
Winter's a big deal.
Yeah,
It's
so
like it's like basically a timer. Like I have to harvest all this fucking food, or else I'm
Yes.
fucked.
Yeah. So essentially, there's difficulty levels to the game. You can start off when you're creating your map. You can have obviously you have a random seed. You name your village, and then you can put easy, medium, or hard difficulty. If you put easy, a lot of stuff comes pre-built. You start with like a larger population, more
Like a
families.
good foundation.
Yeah, you have a good foundation, so you don't have to worry about the first winter. Medium, you start off with a
Just
little.
the first
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, very cool.
Exactly, but you start off with a little less stuff with medium, but hard is the way to go. So this map you saw me, I started this one off on hard.
Yeah.
Cool.
And with hard, all you start is a wagon that has just the bare minimum resources
Yeah.
and just a few families, and that's it.
Cool.
So as soon as you start, you hit space to pause the game, so you can like put a couple of actions out, plan some stuff out, zoom out, look at the map. Where do you want to start building things, right? And every time villagers get resources, they have to take the resources to your designated stockpile.
Sure.
Then when they're gonna build, they have to go to the stockpile, take it out of the stockpile.
Yeah, it's
So
not
it's
like,
like-
automatic. It's the whole animation plays.
Yeah.
It's like
Exactly.
Anno. Remember that
Yeah,
game
it's like
Anno?
Anno.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like Anno.
it's
Okay.
really simple though. At the same time,
Yeah.
like it's not a complicated game.
Hmm.
You know what's going on. You know what's happening. It's very simple. It's not like a overly complicated. There aren't a billion things to build. There's
Yeah.
just like okay, you have your forester's lodge.
You just got to be
You know,
smart
stuff like
with
that.
how you spend your time. You have to
Exactly.
be smart with how you spend your resources and
Exactly.
everything. Because I feel like there could be situations that you build a whole bunch of shit that you don't necessarily need, and
Yep.
you're fucked.
Exactly. You don't want to get too ahead of yourself. You obviously don't want to designate like 4 or 5 buildings to be built when you don't have enough workers or resources to have all of them built. You already want to have your resources for what you're going to have built basically
Sure.
ahead of time and stuff like that. Yeah.
Makes total sense. And the
fun
most
game.
impressive part, dude, about this game, honestly, is that it's made by one guy.
Yeah,
One
that's
guy
right.
made
I
this
think
game
it's a
over
Kickstarter
time.
thing too.
It might have been. I don't remember
Yeah.
if it was, but like, that's just insane. Absolutely insane. Like one person did all this, and I mean, the level of detail in it. It to me, I was comparing it a little bit too on Mumble to Dwarf Fortress.
I was just gonna say, like, one person making a game. You want to talk about Dwarf Fortress?
Yeah, no, it's kind of in that vein. I feel like I'm definitely sure you can probably find this guy talking about how Dwarf Fortress must have been an inspiration.
Oh, sure.
Because that level of like management, where you're right, on some level it's not micro. Maybe
Yeah.
that's the wrong word.
Yeah.
But it's like controlling. I think you put it best. You're controlling the gears and the cogs
Yeah.
of the whole thing more than
Yeah.
anything, but not in the same way of Factorio. More
Exactly.
in the realm of a Dwarf Fortress or survival game.
Right.
Sure.
It's
Right.
cool. Yeah.
It's
That
a
is
lot-
cool.
Anno is like
Anno's
a
a good-
good
yeah.
comparison as well. Yeah, it's taken a lot of good cues for certain games and
Yeah.
left the bad cues and done its
Yeah.
own thing, simplified it to the extent that it can.
And it
be
has its own
simplified.
identity, like
Yeah.
a good identity. That's what I really appreciate about it. Like,
Yeah.
we're comparing it to all these games and stuff, but then I think of Banished is Banished,
Right.
and I've always thought because I've known this game for a little while,
Yep.
just on the periphery. So
For
it
sure.
just seems like a cool, really cool game.
Final notes that I have on Banished would be it's definitely a cozy game, dude.
Yeah.
How much was it, dude, on the sale? Actually,
Oh, I can't remember.
It was
Dude, I
$5.
think it was
I was
$5,
just looking
yeah.
today. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I think I've just been picking up $5 games.
Yeah,
honestly, so
dude.
it's the sweet number.
That's the
It's
way
the
to do
sweet
it,
number.
man.
Yeah. There's a whole bunch of them. I actually got a $5 game that I didn't spend too much time with. I'm gonna play some, and I'll be ready to like actually talk
Okay.
about it next week. Domina, which is
I
fucking
think
nuts,
I saw you
dude.
play that very briefly.
Yeah, it was very briefly, and then Sean wanted to play Heroes, and then
That's
know,
it.
and then Heroes.
Of course.
But
Heroes.
basically, what it is, Arik, you would fucking love this shit.
Okay.
It's a gladiator simulator
Okay.
game that you play as a slave master, and you purchase different slaves, and you train them. You give them food, you give them coin, you make them happy, and then they go fight for you. If they do well,
Can you
then
see
you know
their
you
fights,
get
or-
paid, and then you could reward them. And yeah, you see the fights, and it's super bloody and fucking crazy and hectic and shit.
Wow.
But if they do poorly, well, they
Of
fucking die, and you lose your
course.
investment.
Of course.
You know that
Yeah.
that's basically
Yeah.
what it is.
You know what? I think I,
played
want to
like
get
a little
this game
bit
too.
of it. Oh yeah, it's really cool, man. The art style is very striking too. It's like
Okay.
pixelated. It's very stylized. It looks nice. And then the music is an odd mix of dubstep, which it fits in a really weird way.
All right, Maximus, go fight. Yes, master.
Yeah. It's actually really cool.
Yeah.
I played very briefly. I played
Yeah.
it, but
Sure.
I'm hooked. I'm excited to play a little bit
That's
more.
awesome. That
Interesting.
appeals to me too, man. Because I love the show Spartacus. I don't know if you guys have
I
seen that,
love-
but
Yeah.
that's all Dominos, Doctore, like this, that. You know, like please, dude. Like, come on, man.
Nice.
I fucking love that shit, dude.
Doctor,
Spartacus
dude.
is one of my favorite shows. I love that.
Dude,
I'm
you're
down.
like, hey, Ari, you love this shit, man. You can be a slave master.
Oh yeah, no, it reminded me of. Do you remember the game Fight Club that we played for a little bit?
oh, yeah.
It's sort of like that, but you're not necessarily controlling one guy. You're controlling a whole bunch of people.
Is it 2D too? Like visually?
Yeah,
It's like,
it's like pixelated.
Okay,
pixelated
I
2D sort of
understand completely now.
Yeah.
What this game? I'd
Yep.
like it. I like it.
Yeah, you would like
I
it.
like it.
You would
I'd
like it a
like
lot.
And he said it's like under $5 as well.
It's $5.
All
It's
right,
$5.
dude. Some
I
nice
recommend it.
recommendations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I mean, I've tracked so many slaves across space in Elite Dangerous.
Oh man.
Trading
Oh yeah,
them.
man. You are a slave master.
I am a slave master.
You're a
man.
fucking nightmare person.
Yeah. So this is right up my alley.
Right up your alley, dude. But see, now they're like fighting. It's even more up your alley because
Yeah.
like they're fighting.
I
they're
can
getting
use them
bloody.
now.
Yeah,
They're not
yeah.
just in my cargo hold, like 2 tons of slaves just in my cargo hold, and I'm
Damn,
transporting
dude,
them
2
from one.
tons of slaves. That's a nasty like amount of slaves, dude. Like not even like you're not even saying like, oh yeah, there's like 100 slaves. No, 2 tons of slaves. You've moved the
Yeah.
unit of measurment
Yeah.
around
Actually,
for that because you have so
actually,
many.
I said 2 tons, like just cause it's actually 200 tons.
Yeah, okay,
Sure.
sounds good,
Yeah.
dude.
200.
Dude,
tons.
talking about all this like slaving thing, it reminds me of when you were talking about Rust.
Uh-huh.
and how,
Oh
like,
yeah.
slaving is such a big part of
Dude.
Rust. That's the fucking craziest shit, man.
Now that you
like, that
mention
kind of
it-
makes me want to play a little bit of Rust.
Oh.
But I don't want to play Rust at all, dude. Fuck
would-
Rust.
you would
100%.
love that
No,
shit.
I wouldn't.
Okay.
I guarantee I wouldn't.
Should I mention this very briefly?
You could go
what
for
we
it.
do in Rust. Now that you mention all these slave like scenarios popping up, I guess it's a theme in my gaming style.
Oh boy.
In Rust, when we make a large enough base and we're secure enough, and we have like a big enough team of core members, usually like 3
Yeah.
or 4 members is good enough, and we're pretty powerful on the server, so we have some control. People can't just screw us up anytime they want. We start broadcasting on like the general chat of the server, and we're like looking for slaves. Right, and then like somebody's
Yeah.
like someone who just joined the server who doesn't have a base, doesn't have anything. They're like, "I'll work for you," and we're like, "Okay, cool." We meet up with them. I build them like a little house for them, like a little shelter right outside of our base, but within our gates, or like within our big wall, so they're protected. We provide protection for them, right? They harvest wood for us and whatever materials we need, and they have like a certain quota that they have to meet, or else they'll get kicked out, obviously. So they meet the quota, and then we provide them with like equipment, new tools.
But never amazing equipment because then you don't want to revolt on your hands.
Yeah, we're
You
not
don't-
gonna we're not
you
gonna
don't
give them
want
an
that.
AK.
You give 'em, like, sticks and stones,
exactly.
dude.
You
Of
give them
course.
sticks and stones. And
Yeah,
like, you
but
know.
no, of course, if we give him a bow and arrows, and if he goes out and kills someone and takes their shit, gets to keep it. It's all yours. No worries, man. Obviously, if he tries to do anything back to us and betray us, we'll just
murder
he's
him.
within our gates. We have the codes to his door. You know, like.
Sure.
Please, what are you what are you gonna do? Cool, you killed me within my gates. I'll just respawn, come out with
Yeah.
a new fresh set of gear, kill you, take my gear back.
I think Rust might have been
Destroy
on
your
sale
life.
too. I could be wrong about that.
Yeah.
but
I wouldn't be surprised.
yeah, it seems like it
Definitely,
would be.
Rust
Yeah.
is one of the best games of all time.
You're wrong.
Of all time.
You're wrong.
Dude, for me to
don't
say
know
that-
about that.
For me to say that though, because imagine all the games I've played in my life. You know.
please, dude.
No, dude, Rust doesn't belong there.
Inter-
Dota does though.
Interplesnaya, man.
Interesna, dude.
But dude, I just love, spending money when I have
Well,
money on games.
Yeah. I spent a little bit more money on Nex Machina.
You mentioned that game
Yeah,
either
I
last
was
week or
talking
2
about
weeks ago.
Yeah, I was talking about it a little bit how I was interested in it, and I bought it. It was $15. It's 20% off,
Sure.
and it's basically an arcade game. It's like a top-down arcade shoot 'em up, bullet hell sort of thing,
Okay.
but it's very arcadey. Like it feels like it's pulled straight out of an arcade cabinet. One of the guys that worked on it actually is I wrote his name actually. Eugene Jarvis, and he is one of like a classic video game arcade game maker.
Really?
Yep, he did Defender, he did Robotron.
Cool.
And have you guys played Robotron?
No.
I don't think
I
It's
so.
like
never
it's
even heard of it.
basically you get 2 joysticks. One joystick you move your guy around, the other joystick you shoot.
Sure.
It
Yeah, it
controls
makes
the direction
sense.
you shoot.
Okay.
That's literally what the game is.
Yeah.
It's like a modern Robotron. And
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Makes sense, man.
Is it fun from what little you've played upon it already? Or
I've played a lot of it actually.
Oh, I thought you played a little. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
It's very good, man. The art style is really striking. It's nice. It's background, like the world itself is very nicely made, and then it's just like particle physics everywhere. Like every gun you shoot, it shoots like particles everywhere.
Okay.
It looks nice.
It's fun.
Well, how's the
I love
music?
particle
Because
physics.
music in those games
Yeah.
is really important.
The music's good, man. It's like synth wave kind of
Oh, sure, like
retro electro sort of thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, I can hear that, dude.
Terraria.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, man. No,
Terraria music was good.
Terraria music was okay.
No,
I have not
fantastic.
played enough Terraria to give an opinion on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I
I
remember.
was saying,
that.
is that like an actual jingle from that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right on.
Just when you're like walking around the overworld
Oh, it
or
was
whatever.
so
Nice.
good.
But yeah, dude, no, it Nex Machina does sound really cool.
Yeah, it's like so a big part of it. It's like just like any arcade game. The whole point is it's a high score game, and there's
Yeah.
like online leaderboards and all that. And how you get your multiplier up is actually very interesting. So how the levels are made, there are 5 levels, and they're not randomly generated. It's like you have to learn the pattern.
Uh-huh.
And so basically what it is, it drops you in an arena, and a whole bunch of bad guys start spawning all around you. You clear them out, and then it moves you on to a different arena. And every arena, there's humans, like little like green dudes like running around, and you have to collect them. You have to save the humans.
Okay.
And once you save the humans, then your multiplier goes up.
Cool.
And you can't kill everyone and then go for the humans, because the last person you kill, and it moves you on.
I see.
And then there are
Makes sense.
specific bad guys that spawn that go straight for the humans and kill them. And if you lose a
Interesting.
human, you lose your multiplier. If you get hit, you lose your multiplier. And so it becomes like a very interesting kind of like defend attack sort of thing that you're
Yeah.
going for the humans.
It's
at the
cat
same
and mouse
time.
in a way. Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
it's
I see that.
interesting. It's really fun.
Yeah.
And then whenever you save all the humans, a very sleek voice comes on and says, "All humans saved," and it sounds great.
Of course, you love that, you xenophobe, or like not xenophobic,
Not
but like you
xenophobe.
hate fucking
Yeah.
aliens and shit. Like, of course, you're gonna love
I'm
the
a what is it? I'm a Terraphile.
Terraphile.
guess.
Yeah, I guess, dude.
Terra's Earth.
Yeah,
You'd love playing Terran against Zerg then.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
if I play StarCraft.
Yeah.
all Terran all the time, dude.
I like Protoss too. Protoss is all right.
Yeah. I mean, they're a form of a Zerg themselves, dude.
They're like elves.
I guess, but elves are also an infestation.
That
needs
I
to be-
totally agree.
Yeah.
Fuck Areg. Good shit, man.
We're seeing heart to heart today,
That's
man.
good. That's good. We're
shit,
seeing
man.
eye to eye.
Yeah, man.
Nice.
That's funny stuff, dude. Speaking of fantasy races, elves, dwarves, and everything,
Oh man.
that is not present in Banner Saga. What is present are humans and like these giant. They're just
Giant
giants.
humans.
But yeah, giant humans, but they have horns.
What is this Banner Saga? Like, I don't even know what kind of game it is, dude.
It's a really weird game, man. It's I don't think me personally, I've never seen anything quite like it. It's a story-driven, narrative-driven game.
Uh-huh.
You mainly are at 3 screens throughout the whole game. You're
Okay.
not really doing intense gameplay
Uh-huh.
in the sense of like, jumping around, doing this, doing that. There's 3 screens. One is you're just watching your clan or whatever go through the tundra of the world, just like going through,
okay.
walking and stuff, and you see their banner flowing.
Cool.
And then every now and then you're interrupted by a prompt that presents you with some choices. It says, "Oh, you ran into some bandits, so what do you do? Like, do you bring them into your
Oh,
clan? Do you
interesting.
do this? Do you do that?" And it has repercussions. You gain renown if you do certain things. You lose people, you lose supplies, whatever, because your people have to eat, right?
Of
It's like a day
course.
cycle sort of thing. The other screen is when you make camp or when you go to a town or something.
Sure.
You can like train some of your main heroes. Like you can level them up to make their statistics better. This will make more sense in the third part.
Right.
So you're leveling them up. You can rest. You can buy items that like help them and stuff. That's basically, and then you can leave the camp. Then the third screen is the battle screen,
Right.
which is tactical, grid-based, turn-based combat.
Like Heroes of Might and Magic 3.
Like XCOM?
A little bit. No, not so. You know what? Actually, I would say it's a mix between XCOM and Heroes of Might and Magic 3.
It's turn-based.
It's turn-based,
Yeah.
and but the turns are alternative. It's always you, enemy,
Oh, okay.
but like individual. So like if
Sure.
you're versing 10 enemies and you have 4 things, it's
Right.
like you, an enemy, and then like so on, right? Like a
okay.
you, one enemy,
Right.
you, one enemy.
Sure.
whatever.
And you
Okay.
can control any of your units you want once
But in
per
an
turn.
order. So
Okay.
you actually have to set the order of the battle before the combat.
Oh.
So the whole thing about the game is basically chances are you're going to lose some combats or you're going to want to reload and like do it because you learn every combat has the same kind of order of the enemies. You can set your order for your team to best exploit the AI of the enemies.
Right.
It's a very odd game, very difficult. Like one of my friends who I play Neverwinter Nights with, she actually watches me like on broadcast and coaches me like
cool.
while I'm doing the battle because it's very hard to get the hang of. You don't want to outright kill enemies. You want to actually make them have like 1 HP and just let them like do
And
whatever
catch
they're
them
doing.
like a Pokemon?
No, no, I wish you could catch them. But basically, health in that game is also power. So if you get them down to 1 HP, then they're just doing shitty damage to you anyway. But that means that the enemies are wasting a turn on the 1 HP guy. Instead of you killing him, and then the 18 health / power guy gets a whole turn to himself more
Oh.
frequently. Does that make sense?
That's interesting. So, like, what kind of dictates who gets a turn then?
So, like I said, it's just alternative. So you have to know. So it's basically I have a team of like
so
6
like,
people.
is there like a sidebar that says like this person's first, this
It's on the
person's
bottom,
second,
yeah.
third? Okay.
It just shows you every combat is the same. So like every combat, like if I go into a combat, it'll say like, okay, this big guy is first, this big guy is second, this small
Gotcha.
guy is third, fourth, and then let's say I died and I reload the combat, they're still going to be the same, but I could change my team order.
Right.
So then I can move them around before the battle starts, like chess. Like you're just moving them around to get closest to the people who are like going first to just fuck them up. So it's basically like that's the whole game. There's also a war aspect where you're not necessarily controlling only 6, you're controlling hundreds versus hundreds.
Oh,
And you
man.
make decisions in the text screen how you want to do it. Do you want to do formation? Do you want to be defensive? Do you want to charge or whatever? And then you go into the battle screen with your 6. At the end, it says, all right, you lost 40 people, but then you won the combat, right? So like something like that, you gain renown, etc.
Wait, so what do you mean? Could you explain that again? What do you mean? Like it tells you lost 40 people, even
So-
though you're only controlling 6?
Yeah, so you're controlling 6 in the combat. So
It's
let's
like
say
your 6 heroes, right?
yeah, my
Is that
6
what it
heroes,
is?
exactly. My 6 main characters of the story. I'm controlling them, but the whole battle is actually like 500 versus 600.
Okay.
And I decided to do defensive. Okay, so then that means I have an advantage because they're pressing on me. They get a few less people in the combat. In that 6 combat, they have maybe 7. But if I had done charge instead, even though they had a larger number, then they would have had 10 in the combat versus my 6. So it's basically however you decide to do the war is emulated and reflected in the smaller scale battle that you do. And then at the end, whether
interesting.
you win, lose, whatever, it tells you how many members of the whole army you lost or
Is it possible to win your small scale battle and then still lose the war, or vice
no,
versa?
no. If
Oh,
if
okay.
you win your small scale battle, you win the
It
war.
means you won the war.
Yes.
Okay,
But you might have,
interesting.
but it's about the severity of casualties and also
Right.
supplies and things like that. Yeah.
Right, you're going
that
for
come
the
into
long
play.
run. You're actually trying to like get through the. So how far have you gone? Is it like a career campaign type of thing?
Dude,
or
I
what?
don't even know how far I've gone. I don't think I've even scratched the surface of it, but I've played, I want to say at least a good 7 hours of this game.
Okay.
And it just seems like it's very long. It's like a dual narrative. There's one clan that you control, that's all the
Ah, I
giants.
see.
And then like every chapter like changes. You go to like the human clan who like they're not warlike. They're struggling. So you're kind of like trying to avoid combat with them and stuff like that. Yeah, it's very interesting. And
That's
it's a very like
interesting.
kind of heartfelt story. Like you're making decisions and stuff. Like one of the characters has a daughter, and in the combat, if she kills humans or attacks humans, then in the story she starts to change. Like she starts to like be more bloodthirsty and shit. So
Nice.
it's a very interesting game. There are times when I just don't like my choices. There's no saving. You don't manually save. So if I fuck up, and I don't know really what fucking up constitutes in that game at all. You just got to keep going.
So let's say in battle you lose a guy. Is he done? Like you lose him?
There are some times when it's like story mandated that like it might happen, but if you lose a guy in battle, they just become injured and become fucking useless until you rest. Like
Okay.
absolutely like meaningless until you guys rest.
And how
you
often
don't know.
do you rest?
You don't know.
You don't know.
You
It
don't
just
know. You
depends
don't
what's
know when
happening in
your
the story?
thing will. I mean, if I played the game, then I would know, like all the way, and then I played it again, I would know.
Sure.
But it's like mandated portions, like when your guys set up camp.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, or
So
reach
like
a town.
every
There's a
every
map
encounter,
and stuff. Yeah.
Every encounter that you see, it's not necessarily random. It's like
No,
it's like you're progressing a
it's
story.
not
so
a procedurally
like,
generated. Yeah, not to
Okay.
my knowledge, anyway.
or maybe not yet. Like, is there like an overworld that you walk around in?
There is an overworld, but it's linear. Like
Gotcha.
you're basically trying to get from one point to one
Gotcha.
point, and you can make decisions like along the way, like, oh, maybe I want to go this way instead, or sometimes I've just avoided combat outright. Like I've said, I don't want to do this. Like it's not a worthwhile risk, and we just leave it alone. Like so, I didn't need to do that combat. Sometimes my friend told me like, oh, you chose to do this like whole series of actions. You're actually fighting these enemies that I never fought. So it just
Cool.
depends. It honestly really just depends like on the choices you make.
That seems like a game right up your alley, John.
Dude, it's really cool. It's filling a nice void, but
Yeah.
honestly, it's just a little bit too difficult. Because for me, like I'm like kind of OCD in games like this where I don't want a single injury at all in any of my combat. So anytime even one person gets like dies or whatever in the combat, I reload. Even though there's no
That's so
real
funny.
repercussion or
Yeah.
whatever. But to me, it just breaks my immersion to have someone get injured like that. Like
That's
it
why
doesn't-
I can't play XCOM, dude.
Yeah, it's
It's
just
just too much.
I get
It's too
too
much for me.
attached, like, I don't like it.
I appreciate like, dude. If fucking like in XCOM at the very beginning, it tells you it's like, oh yeah, give nicknames to your fucking soldiers.
Oh, yeah.
Like write like a little backstory and shit about
Yeah.
them. Immediately killed in combat. I'm like, fuck, man. Like,
No, yeah, it's right. Like, and my friend like is always criticizing me. She's like, "You're just being stubborn. Like, you're just not enjoying the game. Like part of the game is to get injured, and that's like part of the whole." And I'm
Yeah.
like, no injury, no nothing,
you should
unless
give that a try though. I
unless
mean, it
it's
is
like a
part of the
good
game.
story moment that like like this person's gotta like be injured, and I want them to be injured. No, there's none of that. I don't accept
Interesting.
anything less than failure, dude,
This is-
or
this
anything
is
less than success.
Funny,
Sorry.
it's giving me some intel into our D&D sessions.
Oh,
do you,
man.
do you feel this way towards your players, or is it?
Oh
do you have
no,
a
I want
reverse
you guys
feeling?
to be. I
So
want
you
guys
want
to be,
us to be injured.
I want you guys to be injured and like triumph. Of
Over
course,
the
I mean,
injury.
yeah, I'm not your enemy in D&D. I'm trying to facilitate the story, but like my head would have gotten crushed that one time if you guys didn't save him. Like that's just what would have
Sure.
happened.
Man.
Yeah,
Fun stuff.
fun stuff.
Fun
man.
stuff, dude. Yeah, no, but this summer sale is fucking chilling. I mean, I don't feel too pressured to get too many things, and what I have gotten, I think, is quality
Yeah.
stuff that I'm enjoying. So,
I wonder actually, like, do companies like Blizzard and Valve like constantly pay attention to what the other company is doing?
I would think so, man.
Like-
I would for sure think so. I mean, they're your competition,
Right,
You, know?
you
You want to
know-
know what the other guy is doing
I
so you
think
can
so.
react.
I think so. So doesn't Blizzard know that the Steam sale is going on right now?
But I mean, yeah.
but what
They
can they
know,
do?
What can they do?
I don't know, like make a big release to be a competitor, like Necro.
There you go.
Yeah, that's right.
You know what I
dude.
mean? Like, why, right? Why release Necromancer when this big Steam sale is going on and like people are getting like all these new $5 games that they want to play, but they're not going to be playing them right now because they're going to be playing Necro, right?
Yeah.
Maybe they'll never even go back to those games that they bought for $5 on Steam.
Well, I mean, that's what's happened to me a whole bunch of times. Like,
Yeah.
I buy a fuckload of stuff and then it just sits in my library.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I never
no.
download it. I never play it.
Yeah, I have
Probably
tons
never
of
will.
games.
Because you
yeah.
play a real game,
Yeah.
like Heroes of the Storm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude. Bro, it's so funny how like now we're just playing it when you guys aren't even around, like, and you'll just like get Oracle like, wow, like Sean and John are just fucking playing Heroes.
I
like,
know, man. That happened the other day. Sean and John were playing.
Yeah.
I was like, "Do you want to join the next one?" I'm like, "What the fuck are you saying, Sean?"
Yeah, isn't that crazy? They would only play when we were playing, and now we got them into it because it's a fun game.
Yeah.
Bro, all I gotta say is I just really love Sonya, dude.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
having
Oh,
so
really?
much fun with her. Yeah, she's super cool, dude.
Nice.
Love throwing your whatever that is.
I'm so good with that, dude. Just bam, like all, and I always get the talent that extends the range like a
Uh-huh.
long
Oh,
way,
nice.
just so I never.
Do you like-
Clockwork, dude.
Yeah.
yeah, it's clockwork.
Do you like the sound that happens
Yeah.
when you throw the?
Yeah. I like it. A
Good
ton,
sound
dude.
effects in that game.
Yeah, dude.
Indeed,
Great
dude.
sound effects for the Necro's new abilities too,
Yeah.
dude.
Dude, tell me
How was
about
the
that,
Necro,
yeah.
man?
Oh, so good. I played the shit out of him as much as I could since yesterday, and we actually got power leveled.
Okay.
So
Who's we?
me and Sean.
Oh.
Because when Sean came home from work, I hadn't been playing like earlier in the day. I actually played towards the nighttime yesterday, so I played most of my hours today in the afternoon.
Right on.
But yesterday when we first started playing, We played about like 20 levels together, casualis, and then Sean was like, "Okay, let's get power leveled. Are you down?" I'm like, "Okay, sure, why not?" He tried to get a random guy, but we wasted time with him. He ended up bouncing, and then Drew was power
Nice.
leveling his wife.
Sure.
I didn't
he's
even know
like-
Drew was married, dude.
Oh, yeah.
And his wife was playing. They were
That's
both playing
crazy.
Necromancer, and they were going to take turns power leveling each other, and they had room in their party. So they're like, "Hey, you want to join?" And we're like, "Yeah, fuck yeah, let's do it." So Drew ended up power leveling all three of us.
That's awesome.
And
That's
then-
very fun.
Yeah, and
Did
then
was
he
she on
switched
Mumble
off.
too, or
No,
anything? Oh,
just
no.
Drew. And then we switched off, so Drew got power level. So we hit 70 last night. But as soon as I hit 70, I just knocked out, went to bed,
Sure.
slept. Then today I got on, and I was like, man, what am I gonna do? Am I just gonna start grinding with this hero? Hold on, let me look at what I have in my stash.
Sure.
Okay, so I rummaged through my stash that I have a bunch of stuff collected over time. I put together like this custom build that doesn't include any of the new sets for the Necro or anything. I just made something work for him. Okay, let me tell you this whole new gimmick I have with him.
Uh-oh.
There's this one item, this legendary pants, where it says it turns your life regen. So you have life regen, like life per second that you're regaining, and you can stack that as a stat.
Sure.
So I had that stacked as a stat for whatever reason, just spontaneously. And these pants had this ability where it took that regen and turned it into an aura of death around you.
Oh, man.
Where you're no longer regaining the life. Instead, you could regain no life. But whatever you would regain is instead damage ticking in an area around you. So when
Oh,
they're-
man.
yeah.
That's pretty cool.
So then I stacked that. I got a bunch of different items that increase my regen if I'm like standing still for like 4 seconds. My regen goes up and stuff like that. I got a bunch of other auras that are part of the Necro abilities. For example, there's this one ability called Devour. So with the Necro, when you kill a bunch of mobs and demons, they leave behind corpses that you can fuck with. Like you can explode corpses and stuff. You can also devour corpses.
Okay.
You can
That
do
gives you health.
different stuff, right? Depending on like which affix or which little variation you put along with the Devour ability, it'll do different things. One of them is it turns it into a passive aura around me.
Oh, man.
That as I walk, it auto devours all the corpses within the aura, and it regenerates my resource that I use for abilities, which is essence. Okay, so I just get a bunch of essence. Okay, there's this one other ability that I summon a skeletal mage. Okay, and you can spam that and summon a bunch of mages. But there's this one variation that it expends all of your essence and summons one really powerful mage
Sure.
that just blasts for massive damage. Okay,
Sounds good.
so I have another aura as well, which is a curse called Frailty. And when enemies are within the range of it, once they hit 15% health, they die. They
Sounds
just die
Fuck,
at
man.
15% health.
So everything just has 15% less health, basically.
So my guy, as he's just standing there, all these auras around him are stacking with their
Yeah.
effects and particles. So there's just this big aura of just death around me. Like, it's beautiful. And I put this shit together custom, like random, without any, I don't know how it happened. It just came together beautifully. So I literally just walk around. My main ability is siphon life, siphon blood, where I just go like this and I just siphon the flesh from enemies.
Yes, come
course.
to me.
Yes, you
come
do.
to me.
Yeah, and I just stand there, and everything just dies around me, and I devour the corpses automatically, and then I just keep summoning huge like skeletal mages that.
Nice.
So
Destroy
can you?
everything.
So because you're regenerating this essence, you
Yeah.
know, fairly often,
Yeah.
are you spamming these giant buff mages?
So every once in a while, yeah, because I have a lot of essence, I've also stacked max essence, so my mage becomes like way more powerful than it actually should
Yeah.
be.
And you
typically.
can have more than one out,
and you
right?
can have more than one out, and one of the passives increases their lifespan by 50%.
Cool.
How long do they last? Or it's just
Otherwise, it's like a
health-wise
few
thing?
seconds,
Oh, okay.
and now it's like a little longer.
Well,
like
what
10
do you mean,
seconds.
like few seconds? Like,
The mage just lasts a few seconds.
okay.
Like you spawn it,
It's like
And it
mage
just
comes, like,
fires.
does like one crazy thing and then leaves.
it starts blasting like enemies. It'll kill a few, and then it'll disappear.
Okay.
But now it lasts longer for me because of my setup, and then I can
Right on.
have like up to 3. But having 3 of those big ones, they kill
It's a
things.
big deal, yeah.
They destroy things like elite packs, chunks of health every blast coming off.
That's
So it's
fun,
like,
dude.
is a big part of Necro summoning shit? Is that kind of the?
Yes.
I don't want to say gimmick, but is that his gimmick?
It is. So there's depending on which build you go with.
Okay.
So the build I'm doing is no summoning. The only
Except
thing
the mage.
The mage is the only thing I'm summoning. I have this passive that it's called Stand Alone. When you don't have any minions out, your armor is increased by 100%.
Right on. Cool.
Yeah. And for every minion you have summoned, it decreases by 10%.
That's actually pretty chill
Interesting.
because you can just summon the 3 big guys
Exactly,
and
which
still
isn't that
really
big.
have a ton of armor.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the amount of damage that they're adding is way
It-
too good
yeah,
of an
it
investment.
outweighs it well, yeah,
So
yeah.
it works really well. There's obviously the builds where you can have a bunch of skeletons.
Yeah,
like
because
a skeletal
that's
army.
what I find super interesting, man.
Just like fucking
that's why
monstrous mobs of
Yeah.
That's why I went Witch Doctor because it
sure.
was the closest to like it's like building an army,
Right.
And I like that idea, especially in like a Diablo type game.
I feel you, man.
like, can you do
Yeah.
that? Like, can you straight up
So,
have like a skeleton army and just go around
it's
like
it's
rolling
tough.
fools?
It's tough. You as Necro, actually, Witch Doctor is a lot more of a like a summon an army and have my army do my
Really?
work for me. Yeah, the Necro is more of like a he does the job himself kind of guy. Although you can have a lot of summons out, but your summons are usually, except for one build, I think there's just one build. There's like 4 viable builds. One of them is your summons are doing the majority of your damage, but all the other ones is you're doing the damage. Like bone armor around you starts like floating around and shit,
Okay.
like killing everything. Yeah, you're the guy that goes in,
Mm.
and you're in the thick of things, dude. You're not like trying to kite things
Yeah,
from
you're not
range.
a caster.
No.
You're a fighter.
Yeah, you go in there. One of the one of the coolest abilities I think in the entire game. It's called Blood Rush. It's like, you know how every class has a mobility ability that allows them to like teleport or something.
Sure.
So you shed your mortal coil and your mortal flesh, and
Sounds
you
good.
reform. Like your
Cool.
flesh reforms 50 yards away.
I like that. All
So
right.
yeah, like I just blood rush
Nice.
into the middle of a horde of enemies, and then I just go.
Does it
do
do
your shit.
damage
Yeah.
if you like is there a talent that
There's
like allows it
different
to do
things.
damage?
I just no, I just do the one that increases my armor upon resummoning.
Oh, that's
so
cool.
you're like come back
So
stronger.
you're hardcore
Cool.
like tank / like just
Yeah.
fucking boom, like nuke.
yeah.
Tank
Wait, so
nuke.
can you go more tanky build with him, or
You could.
is he more kind of like a bruiser?
He's like a bruiser. He's not like a full on tank. Like
Yeah.
everything hit me, please. He's not like that, you know. But
Please hit me.
I mean, that's what tanks want, right? If you're not getting hit as a tank, you're not doing your job.
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, he's more like a in between.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
How was
Like,
Sean
Necro
liking
seems
him
cool.
I
from
think
what
he
you
liked him.
gathered?
Yeah, he hasn't gotten to play him that much because he was at work all day today, right?
Yeah,
He
yeah.
only played a little bit yesterday. I have yet to tell him all the stories of the shit I did today with the Necro. But yeah, I finished Torment 10, Greater Rift 45 solo with him,
Nice.
which is surprising because I think that's one of the best times I have across all my classes. And to get him there so quick without any of the cookie cutter builds and sets, class is probably broken.
Yeah.
You know?
So
So-
besides Necro,
Yeah.
have they added anything else? Like, do you know
Yeah.
like what else is added in this? pack?
Yeah, dude. So I came upon it by chance. I didn't actually go out of my way yet to explore those new areas. They added the moors, it's called.
Oh, like a new region.
Like new region, new zone, new enemies, new little like dialogues and stuff, descriptions. Tyrael talks about it a little bit in the game as well.
right on.
I came across them through rifts because you know how the rifts are random. So upon like doing random rifts, the moors were there.
Was it cool?
Yeah, it was, man. I saw some of the new enemies. They were awesome. Like
Nice.
hulking skeletal, necro-esque kind of thematic
Of course,
stuff. Like
thematic. Yeah, yeah.
skeletal,
You
undead
love the
shit.
thematics, dude.
Yeah, I love thematic shit. So that was it. It was great. I think
Nice.
this was a fantastic thing they did for Diablo. It was only $15, which was the exact price that I was thinking they
Yeah,
should
seems
do it.
like a fair
Yeah.
price, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was
and
great.
for 15, you just get Necro, right? You get
Yep.
no, you get 2 stash tabs.
Yeah.
You get like a whole bunch of other stuff. I think like a hat or
Yeah.
something.
Necro's the main thing.
Yeah.
All the new areas and stuff are free with the patch. So even if
Yeah.
you don't buy Necro, you still get the new units and
But
whatever.
you don't get the stash tabs though.
You don't get the stash tabs, and I need the stash tabs. Dude. I'm
Yeah.
running out of space big time.
Can you buy more like with money?
I don't
Do you
believe
know?
so, man. I don't think
Mm.
so. I'd have to say no,
Yeah.
but if you can, I'd be super surprised.
Hmm.
It was not obvious. If I could, I would. Honestly, I could
That's how
definitely.
bad you need it.
Yeah, I'd give $5 for like another couple of stash tabs for
Sure.
sure. Yeah.
Because your shit fills up, especially if you're doing all the seasonal stuff.
Yeah,
You get a
man.
lot of gear.
Yeah, dude, because I want to save this set for later, then this set for later. Next thing you know,
I mean,
like, all
these
your
sets
tabs
that
are
you
filled.
say from a long time ago just happen to come in handy on this
Exactly.
random build. You never know when
Yeah.
it might happen again. So,
Right? I don't want to
yeah.
just get rid of stuff
No,
because
of
I don't need
course.
it right now, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you were saying something interesting, Arg. You were saying like it's, or you were just proposing, maybe
Sure.
jokingly, but probably a little bit seriously, that the class might be broken.
Yeah.
So this is actually interesting that and you reached this plateau of your play more quickly than in other classes.
Yeah.
It's interesting that it came out then in an off season and that it's a month until the next
Right.
season comes out and everything.
Right.
So I remember we were talking earlier that you might have a theory about this. So I was wondering if you could say.
Yeah, it's actually very interesting because Diablo has seasons now, right? And they've had it for a while. Season 10 just finished. So every time there's a new season, if you want to make a seasonal character, he doesn't share the equipment or the stash or the gold or anything or your Paragon levels with the rest of your characters. You start fresh. And the season usually has like new legendaries and stuff. So like it has incentive to play the season. I played pretty much most of the seasons, and I played season 10. I played my hardcore witch doctor on season 10.
Sure.
And he lived through it and everything, so it's pretty cool.
He lived through it.
Yeah, he lived through it. Season 11 is coming like towards the end of July, but they released Necro already, and season 10 is already done. So this is off season. So people are like, why? Why not just release it with season 11? So when we make our Necro, we can make a seasonal character and just play through season 11. Why release it now? It's kind of awkward because if I play Necro now, then I'm going to want to play him again for the season, you know?
Yep.
And people are speculating. They're like, why would they do this? Some people are saying that Necro did not get a long enough beta, that
Yeah.
Necro needed a longer beta, perhaps because he is a little broken right now. And so they released him early, we think, so that he has this extra like time before the season 11 so they can make some changes, because once season 11 comes and everybody plays Necro, if Necro beats all the Greater Rift records that all the other classes had for all the seasons, it's going to kind of be whack.
Yeah,
you know,
it'll
like
be
how
whack.
because you're going to just see Necro on the big leaderboard list for pages.
It's not
going to
mean anything anymore.
Yeah.
Like
That's what I was thinking.
Exactly.
It's like they just kind of want a public beta test,
Right.
And more public beta tests, more people, more numbers, more more intel, more
Yeah.
statistics, like you were
Exactly.
saying. Yeah.
Because right now people are already doing Greater Rifts and Greater Rift 90 and stuff with like
Wow.
the sets. There's a build where you're almost practically invulnerable with him.
really.
You're practically invulnerable. Yeah.
So
And
you're
shit just
expecting
stays
some
around.
nerfs coming pretty soon. Huh?
Yeah, I think
And
so.
by the season, it has to be. Yeah.
Not
When is season again?
necessarily-
It's coming. It's
End
like
of
in a
July.
week
Maybe
or so.
towards July, sometime in July. By
Okay.
the end of July, I think season 11 will be active. I don't think they're gonna necessarily want to nerf Necro himself, like his abilities per se, but I think they will tamper with some of his legendary sets, like the gear and what types of crazy things they allow him to do, because the combinations you can come up with your gear.
Yeah.
Diablo is very gear based, obviously. So like some of the combos you can come up with, it just feels broken. They're gonna have to nerf certain pieces of equipment, I think.
Or maybe buff some other classes. Maybe like
Dude,
I was thumbing
yeah.
through the patch notes. Fucking no one got changed, man.
yeah.
Like I
that's
was
a good point.
surprised.
That's a good point. Actually, it's actually
Like that. That's kind of what
a
I was
motto.
expecting. Like some. Well, what do you mean?
Like it's Blizzard's motto to, instead of nerf something when it's too strong, to buff everything else
Yeah.
to catch up with whatever is too strong. So I don't know if they're gonna do that with Diablo, because buffing all the other class, that's gonna be hard, dude.
That's gonna be a lot of work. Too.
There's
Maybe
gonna
it's
be a lot of work.
maybe it's going to be a bit of both. Maybe it's going to be a bit of like nerfing both the hero and the gear and the sets and stuff,
Yeah.
but also getting the other classes up to par, just to reinvigorate the game a little more. So it's not just you're coming back for Necro,
Yeah.
you're coming back for Diablo 3.
Yeah, exactly.
There's
Like
you know,
kind of like what I'm thinking is, I don't think I'm gonna get Necro, or at least like not right now.
Yeah.
But if they changed other classes in a meaningful way,
Okay.
I would have come back.
Oh, I see.
But they didn't.
Yeah.
So I don't really have that big of a
Right.
desire. Like
Yeah.
I want to load up my Witch Doctor again.
Sure.
But if it's the same thing that it was 2 years ago, why would I?
Well, that's the thing, dude. It won't be the same
It's like
thing.
yeah, they added like greater
not
rifts
2
and all
years
that.
ago, but
No.
What do you mean?
Is it the same thing as 2 years ago?
I mean, last time I played was like a year ago. and-
Oh,
So
yeah.
so no, actually, it's different because each season adds new sets for your classes, which means new builds.
As a casual player,
Yeah.
I've never really interacted with any of the seasonal stuff.
Uh-huh.
And kind of the stuff that I find interesting
Yeah.
is like actual changes, like
Right.
balance changes
Right.
and
Well, if you
like
want to get
changing
into
the
it,
skills and
I'd highly
adding
recommend
stuff.
trying season 11 out, man. If you want to like play a little bit, see what it's like. Season 11 would be a good time. Everybody's going to be playing Necro, so especially if you don't play Necro, you play something else. It's going to be pretty cool because you'll be standing out and then you'll be able to provide a type of like support for the team.
yeah, but if it's the same shit that I've done like so many times I've played Diablo, then
Right.
kind of what's the point?
It depends. I mean, if you want to play the season, you're going to start from level 1, but getting to level 70 it doesn't take that long. And once you
Takes
get
like
70,
evening.
it's going to
Yeah.
be new shit, like new items, new equipment sets, new builds. Like when you say the same shit, it's not going to be the same abilities. It's all the same abilities, but you're going to be casting different stuff because now the different stuff is more viable. So they're trying to play around with like which abilities are
So
viable.
it's like a big part of it is your what are they called? Like the sets,
The
like the armor and
sets.
stuff that you
It's
That's
gear
it,
based. I mean,
yeah.
Diablo more
Yep.
than like Path of Exile, more than the other ARPGs
yeah.
and stuff. It's super gear based. Like your
Yeah.
character is your gear. It's not really
Yes.
And like
It's
the
not
character
fun.
itself
Yeah.
doesn't have
defines
a
your
thing.
abilities. Like what abilities am I going to use depends
Yeah.
on what gear am I going to be wearing.
Bro, all I
and
need
vice
is
versa.
are my 2 Bulkathos fucking
Oh, man.
thing on my barbarian, dude. That's it.
Yeah.
No, I'll play season 11, dude. That'd be pretty fun.
I
Honestly.
want like let's say you play barbarian for season 11.
It's gonna be very
I
different,
don't
yeah.
know what is the viable build.
I don't
know
either.
what new sets they're gonna have.
But I'm
so
definitely gonna do the whirlwind. Oh, wait, I love that. I love that ability too much.
You
dude.
could try, man. Maybe
I love that ability
it's
too
not going
much.
to be viable. Maybe that
Yeah.
ability is going to work in conjunction with a different set of abilities now to
Maybe,
combo.
yeah.
You know, you don't know. But they switch it up. Every season adds new sets, changes up your build. It's the same class, same flavor,
Sure.
but different kind of play, you know?
Yeah, I'm down. I mean, that's very interesting, dude. And Necro's like a cool addition.
It
I
is.
honestly hope they add like in the future, like if I don't know if they want to sequel Diablo up some more or if they're gonna stay with Diablo 3 for some time and just
Yeah.
keep it as is. But I think this model of just releasing a hero every now and then or whatever class is actually pretty positive. Like
Yeah.
they should do that a little bit more because this is the kind of game that doesn't need to rely so much on like an Overwatch sense where you need to balance it with every single hero and need to worry about this, that. It's in a lot of ways a quote unquote single player game
Right.
and a multiplayer like fusion too.
It's more of a cooperative thing.
More,
not
more
necessarily
cooperative,
competitive.
yeah.
Co-op, yeah.
So like it feels interesting for them to add random classes every year, like a new class, or every couple years, like a new class to Diablo 3, just to get it going. If they don't want to make a Diablo 4,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't
Yeah.
know.
I like the
doubt they
new
do.
zones too, man. They've been like patching new zones for free periodically,
that's
and
true.
I love that. If they
Yeah.
do more of that, because what is that really? It's just a little bit of level design and like creature design. It's like fun stuff. I'm sure they have a blast. The devs like coming up with new areas for the game and new like creatures for us to kill.
Artists for sure, like are just
Yeah.
like,
It's like
okay, fuck,
creative
let's go.
output and expression. You know, that's like the best part of making the game probably. So if they just did more of that, I'd love it.
Yeah.
That'd be enough for me.
Yeah. So moving forward, what do you guys feel like Diablo is gonna be like?
I think the best
because
way is
I
the
do-
hero based model.
Absolutely. I don't necessarily see a new expansion.
I
I
don't
don't
either.
necessarily see a new Diablo,
Me
at
neither.
least for like the near future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
classes
think
every
there's
once in
gonna
a
be
while.
any
It's
Diablo.
it's a very smart way
Yeah.
of bringing old people back in and bringing new people
Yeah.
back in.
A lot of people
It
are
really
playing
is.
Necro now.
Yeah.
Just because Necro.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
It gets them a bit of cash too. Like I mean, just an influx of cash from everyone's paying $15 for this class and
Yep.
everything. And it's not minimal work on their part, but really it's not like it's not a new game. It's not
Yeah.
a new expand.
Yeah.
It's just a bit of content here,
Right.
and they're charging it. You know, some people can debate it, but I would say fairly priced.
Yeah,
So
I think it's
I
very
think
fair.
so.
Yeah.
15 is very fair for what they're giving.
yeah,
Yep.
It's-
I agree.
just an entirely new play style. So it just feels like that is the good model going forward for Diablo 3. It remains to be seen though whether Necromancer is the last that they'll do with Diablo 3 in terms of that kind of content, or if they're going to continue, will they continue with this model or with another? I don't know.
Yeah. It's hard to really speculate on Diablo right now, what they're going to do. I don't think they're going to make like a Diablo 4 anytime soon.
Yeah.
Not
if
anytime
ever,
soon.
really.
They will for us one day. dude.
Yeah, I don't know what they're going to do, but I'll tell you what I'd love them to do. I know it's unlikely, and I know you don't think they're going to do it, but I'd love another expansion, like a full-on Malthael style expansion with like what happens now with Diablo, because they left it at a cliffhanger, like Malthael's expansion at
Oh,
the
did
end.
they? I
Yeah,
don't
it
really
wasn't. It
remember too
didn't like
much.
wrap up like everything's chilling now.
Hmm.
No, it gave way for like Diablo to be reborn again,
Hmm.
as always. So they could definitely do something with the story, and if they have the time and the
Yeah.
funds for it, I'd
I mean,
love it.
that's I mean, that's super cool. But just the one thing that kind of makes me a little bit nervous and kind of what I feel like that they won't do it
Mm.
is whenever you make a new expansion,
Yeah.
you're basically banking on the idea that your entire player base is going to get this expansion.
Yeah,
You know, it's like a $30 thing is very different from a $15 thing.
yeah.
Or like a $40 thing. Malthael was $40 bucks.
Yeah, it's gonna be 40. I
You know?
think if they have an expansion, yeah.
You know, and like that kind of brings in the question on like how popular is Diablo right now, and can we get away with doing something like this?
Yeah, it's a good question.
And like if they come out with an expansion, I feel like it's not going to be as successful if they just put out another class.
I will say though,
Maybe.
just to respond to that,
Yeah.
you know, you're asking the question, like you're asking the question from the perspective of the dev, saying how popular is Diablo right now, and is it worth this expenditure?
Yeah.
That's a fair question to ask, I think, for most devs. However, I don't think Blizzard is the type of dev that needs to ask that question, because I think the question that they ask instead is, can we make Diablo popular again right now with this? That's the kind of question and the kind of model that they have a lot with their games that I've noticed. It's not, is it still popular and can we do this? It's, is this going to make it popular again for the burst of money
That's a
that we
good
want
point.
and the thing that we want? So,
And I would say with
Yeah.
our library of games right now,
Yeah.
I think it would be a lot smarter for them to double down on Overwatch,
Yeah.
to double down on WoW.
yeah, a little fuck wow, but yeah.
Yeah, fuck WoW, but yeah.
Yeah. No, but I know what you mean.
Let's-
I totally agree, but it just worth saying that if
On
it's going to be
Hearthstone,
any dev,
You know?
Yeah.
it's going to be Blizzard that
Yeah.
can pull it off,
Yeah.
even when the numbers are quote unquote technically low.
That's a good point, man.
Yeah.
Fuck it, Diablo MMORPG.
Oh, please.
Let's
I'll
go,
play
dude.
that.
Yeah,
Why
I'd
not?
play the shit out of that.
Yeah.
That's funny, man. You know
I
what?
love
though?
it like a Diablo story game, like a third-person action game sort of thing. I wanna,
That'd be
like,
interesting.
Fly
God-
around as
like
an
God
angel
of
and
War.
shit.
Like, what about like
Yeah,
StarCraft
dude.
Ghost, dude?
Nah.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to that, dude?
Fuck.
They should just fucking put that game out.
I don't even
They
think
should just do it.
I don't even think they had like a real game going. I'm pretty sure it was like maybe half a game
No.
at most.
Yeah,
I
who,
don't
who
know.
knows how far it got.
Yeah, I think a Warcraft 4 is more likely than a Diablo 4 in chronologically.
Interesting.
I don't think they'll do RTS. I don't think
You
they'll
don't
ever
think
go
so?
back to RTS,
I
at
think-
least for now.
Dude, I think that they
No
would
one
surprise
plays RTS,
people,
man.
bro.
No one plays RTS.
But
It's
people
done.
love Warcraft. Like people love
Yeah.
Warcraft. You know what I mean? Like love it. I think more than StarCraft in the West.
Dude, I want a Warcraft 2 remaster.
Yeah,
That's what I want.
That's what they might do, like a remaster of like the old
People
games.
have been asking it for a really long time, and they've been saying no, no, no. Eventually, they're gonna have to give in. Because if
Yeah, they
people
gotta
ask
give
for it long enough,
Yeah.
dude, Warcraft 2 remaster, I'd play the shit out of it.
You, David Safarian.
Oh, David would play.
yeah,
Hell yeah, dude. You know the music you listen to when you queue for a match in Hearthstone is
Is-
Warcraft 2 music.
Yeah. No, I love it.
Yeah.
That was the thing that got me in Hearthstone.
Sure.
When I heard that, I was like, I love Hearthstone.
Yeah.
Now. Yeah.
That's funny, man.
They know how to get us, man. They're fans.
So one thing that I want to bring up before we start calling it an episode. Have you guys heard about the SNES Classic?
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm hyped. I'm
Yeah.
getting it. I'm getting it. I'm like I didn't care about
I mean,
the
you
NES
can-
Classic.
you
It's
can
whatever.
Try.
Well, I'm gonna try. No, I'm gonna legitimately.
It's going to
try.
be very hard to find that thing. Like Nintendo said that they're just making it this year. That's it.
Okay, either I'm gonna pre-order it. If,
It's going to be sold out forever.
Either I'm gonna pre-order it if pre-orders are available. I don't know how like they're
Yeah.
doing it yet, or I'm gonna camp out and wait somewhere like for a day. Like big
Yeah.
deal. Like I'm just gonna have to do that because I really want it. I think it's gonna be an awesome collector's item. Number one. Number two, I think all the games on it, it's like 21 games, are really strong titles, more so than they were on the NES Classic. StarCraft or Star Fox 2 is going to be on it, which is an unfinished, like quote, somewhat unreleased game. And it
No,
just
it
seems
is
like
totally. It's an unreleased game.
Yeah.
There's like ROMs and
there's a
shit floating
ROM,
around.
yeah.
But yeah.
No, it just seems
Like
really
that
cool. I
seems
want
like
to play the old
that
Final
seems like
Fantasy.
a fucking crazy ass thing, man. Like I just StarCraft 2, them putting that out.
Star
is-
Fox 2.
Star Fox 2. What did I say? What did I say?
StarCraft 2.
Oh God, Blizzard, dude. Yeah, Star Fox 2.
Blizz-tendo?
Nintendo,
Yeah.
fuck me.
Yeah, dude, that would just be the end of it all,
the
dude.
end of it all, dude.
But
I'd
yeah, man,
kill
like Star
myself.
Fox 2, that them putting it out, like finishing it and putting it out, like the ROM that's out, which I have played, it's unfinished.
Yeah, it's unfinished.
It's like, yeah, like the sound is fucked, the textures are not done.
Interesting.
You know, like it's an unfinished game, but like they finished it and they're gonna
Oh.
put it out.
Nice.
Yeah, and like the old devs and shit that worked on Star Fox 2 are like posting Twitter pictures and like going all crazy.
Yeah,
like,
they're
going down,
like, I can't
bars.
believe,
It's like
like,
our game
this-
is finally coming out.
Yeah, I know.
nice.
It's honestly, I'm pretty excited for it. I'm gonna try to get it because, and it's only $80. I think it's a good value.
Yeah.
I mean,
80
Yeah.
bucks is very fair.
It's funny because-
there's fucking people on eBay right now
selling it.
selling it for $500, saying
They don't
I will
even have it.
guarantee you one if you pay me $500.
Yeah.
They probably have like fucking bots and shit set up.
Yeah, no, but
Some
it's
shady ass shit, dude.
It's absolutely shady, absolutely fucked. But it's funny how back in the day, an SNES game alone was $80. Now you're getting the whole like 21 on like this machine or whatever for $80. Like,
When was an NES game $80?
No,
They-
I think you're
no, they were, dude. I would buy Sega Genesis games for $70. Are you guys kidding me? Yeah.
What the fuck?
Back in the day, that's how expensive those games were.
I remember Neo Geo games being pricey, but I never had an SNES. I never had
Yeah.
like those systems.
Those
so I
old
don't really
games
know.
were expensive, man.
Wow.
Yeah, they were. They were not an easy expenditure to make. Like you would have to pick and choose kind of what you wanted. At least if you know,
Interesting.
yeah.
$70 ain't a joke for a game, dude.
Not a
No.
not a joke at all.
Yeah.
And then it went down to 50 for a while. You guys recall that? Like
Yep.
for most of our lives, it was 50, and then now
Now
it's
it's
back up
60.
to 60, and
Yeah,
it's
but
been
there's
that
so
way
many
for a while.
indie games and stuff that like they just play around with. There's like 20, 15, this, that.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
depending
I
on
mean,
what it is.
AAA is like 60
yeah,
with
AAA is
like
60, yeah.
with like their special editions, like hundreds and hundreds of dollars now. You know,
No
you
Man's
get so
Sky.
much swag though.
dude. Yeah, swag, dude.
No Man's Sky.
No man's swag.
No Man's Swag.
But yeah, dude, such is life.
Why do we have to end on a downer, dude? Why'd you have to bring up No Man's Sky?
Okay, I'll fix it. Dota too.
Oh, there we go, man. There we go. All right.
Bro, please.
Now we can end on a positive note.
Dude,
Diablo
Bukathos
3.
guides my blades, dude.
Yeah, there you go.
Dude.
I have no idea what that is.
Bukathos.
I have no idea what that is.
The
What's
barbarian.
Bukathos?
The
Gods.
barbarian god in like Diablo or whatever. Like when,
Oh, I
like
have no
one of
idea.
Sonia's lines is like Bukathos something something.
That's great.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
learn
dude.
something new every day, dude.
Yeah,
You
dude.
can't escape death, according to Malthael.
Yeah, you can't.
Mateo is a cool hero.
He is, man.
He counters every one I play, though.
Yeah, he does counter all the bruisers.
Yeah, all the bruisers, all the tanks, which is what I play.
Former Archangel of Wisdom, current Archangel of Death.
There should be more
Sounds good,
archangels.
dude.
There should be a lot more archangels.
Dude, one of these days you should introduce me like that. Former Archangel of Wisdom, current Archangel of Death.
That's some funny shit,
I'll
dude.
think about it.
Yes. When Imperious is out. All right, man. Well, we're going to call it now.
Yeah, let's call it now. No. Yeah, there it is. It's over.
It's over.
It's a dead end. mail@thenextlevel.com is our email. So you guys can send us questions, comments, concerns, anything.
I have a lot of concerns.
Okay.
I'll email them.
Yeah, email them. Let us know. Cool. Thank you, Lilith. Thank you, guys.
Thank
Have a
you.
good night.
Good night.
Good night.